you'll get very few no's to that. Okay? Most people, the vast majority of people will be, listen, if it's going to help you out, you're a friend of the family, you're my friend, I don't have to pay you, it's no cost to me, you'll build me a landing page, whatever it may be, you can't go wrong. And these are the extremely, extremely valuable jobs. They don't have to be, like when I was, so let me tell you about my first couple jobs. When I started, I specifically wanted to run Google Ads campaigns, like Google AdWords. Like that's what it is. That's what it was that I wanted to do. So if I am, when I started to look for my first few jobs through friends and family, I wasn't specifically adamant about managing a Google AdWords account. I was happy to do anything that related to internet marketing, even though I knew that my goal was to eventually get paid to manage Google AdWords accounts, right? That was my goal starting out by myself in my recliner in my one-bedroom apartment. But those weren't the jobs that presented themselves. Those weren't the things that my friends and family needed. So, okay, that's no problem. I'll do whatever is needed. So our first job, my friend's father, who's a dentist, he wanted pictures taken of his office so he could use them on his Yelp profile. Great, I'll do it. And I did it. I took my camera, I took pictures of his office, uploaded them to his Yelp page. That job actually turned into a Squarespace website for this dental practice, which included some copywriting, and I had to learn a little bit about copywriting. I had to learn a little bit about CSS. So there's a lot of things that I was forced to learn that eventually became useful. I had to learn how to use Squarespace. I knew a little bit how to use Squarespace because that's how I made my very first site, but I had to learn how to use it a lot better. I had to learn the basic structure of a website. I had to learn how to really take pictures of an office. I had to learn about Yelp. I didn't know anything about Yelp. I had to learn how to make a Yelp profile or make a Yelp profile stand out, and I learned a lot about their different advertising options and their features and whatever. Like I learned about Yelp, which was good because now I could talk to clients about Yelp. I learned about CSS. I learned about HTML because I had to do some custom stuff on the Squarespace site. And I spent a long time on this, like days and days and days, and I was really getting paid nothing to do it. And I worked very hard. Okay, that's another thing. I don't know if I have it in a slide. Don't under-deliver or cut any corners because you're getting jobs for free or you're working for cost. Do it as if you're getting paid 50 grand for the project. Stretch your capacities to the edges of your limits with every project you do. It's extremely important. You're going to learn more that way. You'll force yourself. Like if I would have been like, oh, well, I don't know any CSS. I can't really design this grid of images the way you're requesting. That would have been fine. It would have been acceptable to the dentist, but it wouldn't be acceptable if the dentist was paying me 50 grand. So I had to go and I bought a book on CSS. I watched some stuff online. I spent 10 hours sitting just to get a grid of images in line. It had nothing to do with what I wanted to do as a career for the company. I wasn't really getting paid to do it, and it was valuable time. But I did it because it comes out in the feedback you'll get from the clients, that level of service. But the learning and the experience you get is extremely valuable. Now, if you're going to tell me, like, listen, I got to get clients tomorrow or I'm going to go into serious bankruptcy, I don't know how to solve that problem. I don't know a shortcut for getting clients. Many of you might have full-time jobs now. Many of you might have a 6-month runway of cash. I certainly didn't have that much of a runway for cash 6 years ago. I was recently married. My wife was working, but it was really like a paycheck to paycheck sort of situation. And then my wife left her job. And then it was like we had to make things happen. So we had a little bit of money saved up. But I was still in this process of working for free or working for extremely cheap. And I don't know, maybe I was making $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, like not enough to like be meaningful, but there's no shortcuts around this process as far as I'm aware. Depending on how much time you're putting into it, how much effort you're putting into it, maybe like you'll get to the next stage in 3 months instead of 6 months. But if you're working a full-time job and you're only dedicating a couple hours a day to building your freelancer career, your agency, it might take you 9 months or a year to get to this point where I would recommend starting to spend money on advertising or to go looking for fresh clients who are only going to be exposed to you as a person when they see your content or your website. Because you got to be in a really good position. You have to look really good and really polished before you're going to win business against 100 other companies and freelancers and agencies that are doing the same thing that look much more legitimate, much more polished, and are in your price range. You could do it. You can get there. And I'm going to walk you through the exact template for getting there. And it's not rocket science. It just takes time and work. Okay. But at this point, you're aiming for, let's say, between 10 and 20 of these projects over the course of 3 to 6 months. Okay. Between 10 and 20. That's your goal. Put that down on paper. And every time you get one, you fill it out. One, it was my high school buddies' grandparents who own a retail store on Main Street. And we did some graphic design and built them a new logo. It was my cousin who runs an online Shopify store, and I did a website audit for him, a written website audit report, and he wrote me a review. It was my father's partner's daughter who is doing a project for college, and I built a prospective Google Ads campaign structure with keyword research and ad copy to A/B test, and I put that into a report. Okay, these are your jobs. These are great jobs. I helped, and my second client, by the way, was my own father, who didn't have a LinkedIn profile. I built him a LinkedIn profile, and he actually paid me for it, which was nice. But again, I learned a lot about LinkedIn. I learned about LinkedIn advertising. I learned about the platform, the service, and that was all peripheral information, but still relevant. The next job was a friend with a clothing store. We did his Google Ads account. Rolled into that, we had to post something organically to his Facebook page every month. I didn't want to post anything organically to Facebook pages. That's not my business. I'm not a content manager, but we did it because that's what we needed to do. There's nothing below your dignity. There's nothing below your pay grade. Now, today, I'm not going to take a client where I'm posting stuff to their Facebook account, to their community, because that's just not what I do. And thank God we have enough business coming in where I don't need to take those jobs. And that's because I didn't take any shortcuts to getting to the point that we're at now. So you should be able to find 2-3 friends or 2-3 family members who you could help with some sort of online marketing related thing. And then you ask for targeted referrals. Even friends and family, they're not thinking of you necessarily all the time. So you have to be specific. You do a job, say, hey, do you have any friends who have websites? Do you have any friends who work in a company or a brand that does any online marketing? Could you introduce me? Could you give me that person's number? Could we get on a call with them together? Maybe it's a distant relative, whatever it is. So ask for those referrals. You got to get to 10 to 20 of these projects. That's your goal. 10 to 20 in 3 to 6 months. Like I said, be willing to do anything peripherally related to your ideal core service. So to me, like, I wanted to manage AdWords accounts. So doing a CRO report or doing a LinkedIn profile or a Yelp page or photography or a website or a landing page, those are all things that were a little peripheral, but do them because they will still be valuable case studies, but you'll get the client reviews because you need the reviews. Don't overthink, overanalyze things, just get to work. Like I said, over deliver even for the free clients. You'll learn a lot, and it's going to show in the feedback you receive. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, collect and organize your feedback neurotically. Do not ever do a project for free and not get a review for it, okay? It's really, really important. Start collecting your reviews. Have them running in a Google Doc or in a spreadsheet. A Google Sheet's a great place for your reviews. So even if a client posts a review directly to your Google Plus page, copy and paste that into a running spreadsheet. So you have one central spreadsheet of all the reviews you receive. Because sometimes you'll get reviews through Facebook. Sometimes you'll get reviews through your Google your Google business page. I strongly recommend beginning with asking your clients to leave you a review directly on your Google business page. It's going to help you with SEO. It'll help you show up in maps. It'll help you show up in search. It's really, really important. I started this 5 years ago, and this review is still on our Google Plus page. Benny Rudansky is my brother. I helped him out with a few things related to his. He's a professional chef. He's a younger brother, and he left me a review 5 years ago. He was one of like the second review. I think the first review was my cousin. And that's fine. And now we have 118 reviews, 116 or 15 of which are actual clients. Now, this is important. You're not going to get clients unless you have a significant, substantial amount of reviews. And I mean 15, 20, 25 reviews is what you want to be aiming for, I think. Now, start posting it. So all review, you have the ability to have a testimonial section on your website, and then you could just post all the reviews you're getting with names and company, etc. Show the name of the person with the review, the company they worked out, and their position at the company, if possible. I could show you what our review page of our website looks like now. Results, testimonials. Okay, so I show the actual review, and then who gave the review, their title, the company, and I actually gave the testimonial given on the actual date it was given. And that's something which is good too, so clients could see the recency of the reviews you're getting. In fact, I think we have, this is from June. Yeah, this is like, we have more reviews I need to add to here. I just don't have the time to keep updating these pages. But anyway, these are all reviews from our clients that have been collected over the years through Google Plus and other sites. And then you're going to post them to your site as well. But have your clients and your friends and family post to Google, your Google business page first. You want to put them on your own website. And here's a few other sites you should look into developing a profile on: Clutch.co, The Manifest, Expertise.com, UpCity, Facebook, and Yelp. These are all places where you want to start building a profile of your company, the services you offer, and reviews you've been receiving. So we actually just started with Clutch not too long ago, and I'm pretty happy with the traffic we get from them. I'm pretty happy with our portfolio there, and we've gotten a bunch of leads through people who came to our profile from Clutch. But no one's going to look at your profiles unless you have reviews or portfolio work you've done, which is what you're doing by getting friends and family and disguising them to the world as real clients. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's totally true. You don't need to divulge that this was your brother or your parents or your whatever. As long as you're willing and able to provide some value, you don't have to have gotten paid for it, but that was a client freelancer interaction through and through, no problem. So you could disguise it as real clients. So people don't understand the absolute treasure friends and family could provide, because in an online world, you just did a service that was really significant, that really made an impact. You got a great review from somebody. That's a testimonial that will win you clients, even if it was your brother, your mother, your cousin, or your friend. All right, so really focus on this. So in this first 3 to 6 month process, you want to aim to get 10 to 20 of these small projects and 10 to 20 online reviews in your Google page and 10 to 20 online testimonials for your testimonial section of your website. During this time, you start thinking about case studies. Don't wait 9 months, 12 months down the road when you've now built your website and you're like, oh shoot, I need case studies. Okay, that would be a big mistake. Think of your case studies now. As you go through each project, you're not shelving that project until you've written out a case study. It doesn't have to be posted online yet. You just write it out in a Google Doc. Okay? This is important. These are the steps that you must follow to make this happen for yourself. So begin documenting every project, no matter how small. If you're doing a LinkedIn profile for your father, you're doing photography for a dental office, you're building a Yelp profile, you're doing a website audit, you're doing an SEO campaign or audit, you're reaching out for some backlinks, you're doing a Google Ads campaign, you're managing a Bing account, you're doing Facebook ads, whatever. Every project you do could be a case study. Now, case studies don't have to be long. They could be 2 paragraphs. They could be 8 sentences. Doesn't matter. But they do have to accomplish a specific goal. A good case study has to show how you solve a specific problem. There needs to be a story. There needs to be a protagonist, which is your client. There needs to be a hero, which is you. There needs to be an antagonist, forces of antagonism, which are the challenges presented. And there needs to be a problem and climax and resolution. And that could all be accomplished in a very, very short amount of writing. So there's 4 stages to a good case study. And this don't forget, on the right-hand side, here's a screenshot of our case study, just a layout on our site. But it's all developed it's all developed from this 4-stage foundation to writing case studies. And make a Google Doc. It's very easy. For every single project, you have a folder in Google Drive. In every folder, you have a document which is called case study. And it's 4 sections. You identify the problem. So if it's a LinkedIn profile, it's doctor in Long Island, is looking to new channels for finding new patients and new partnerships, but there's no online presence. Doesn't have an online presence. Describe your thought process in discovering a solution. I think that a LinkedIn page is where these people hang out, so on and so forth. He should have a really professional looking LinkedIn profile. Okay. Outline 1 to 3 specific challenges. There's no history. It's going to be difficult to network with the right people. It's going to be difficult for the doctor to stay up to date by posting content. Describe your solution: a monthly calendar of content, a LinkedIn profile, a professional headshot, reaching out to getting a list of 1,000 doctors on the East Coast related to this doctor's industry, creating a networking campaign of reaching out. Okay, I've solved the problem. What I really did was just make an easy freaking LinkedIn profile. Right? Anyone could do it. But your case study outlines sophistication.